Okay, so everything's working now. Sorry about that. Yeah, so they ran out of the conference room and they burst into the control room. Alright. The room was full of sharp words and barbed looks. The atmosphere was tense. It left a bad taste in my mouth. Nothing had changed at all. It might even be safer to say that things had gotten worse. There aren't any floors underneath Dritterstock, and we can't go down any farther. I'm gonna see if I can skip ahead. I have to do it the old-fashioned way. I cannot. I don't think this button works either. Let's see. Okay. Liar. You're lying. Oh. I know. Oh, how I know. There is another floor under Lemu. No, there's another facility other than Lemu, and it's right below us, really far down. I'm right, aren't I? There is only one answer to your question. No such facilities exist. There have to be. Then what about that room? What is that Himmel about? Huh? Himmel? I thought I had heard. No, I had seen it before. The name of a room? Oh, and it flashed on the screen. Himmel. Where have I seen it? But my memory was vague. I couldn't connect the name with the information in my brain. Listen, you don't know about it, but today, the door is... Hey, Tsugumi! Suddenly, Takeshi got between them. Tsugumi, why don't you tell me all about that? If we've all heard this much, you can't have anything more to hide, right? Takeshi stared intently at Tsugumi. Takeshi turned back to us. Hey, if you don't mind, I'll take care of this. Huh? What? Are you telling us to leave? Yeah, with this many people arguing, nothing will get settled. So just leave this to me, Sora and Tsugumi. Leave us alone for a bit. Alright, let's leave this to Takeshi. Kid? Why should the three of us be excluded from such an important discussion? I trust Takeshi, and Takeshi has to trust in us. Takeshi has his own take on things, and I think we should all go with what he thinks. Thanks, kid. Oh, whatever. Fine, Kurenari. We'll leave it to you, okay? Alright, I got it. We left the three of them in the control room. Weird. After that, we decided to take some action of our own, and as the estimated time until Lemu's implosion was steadily approaching, we decided to run a visual check of the complex to see how everything was. Of course, Lemu had already checked everything, so it was a meaningless action. But we felt that we had to do something. 3:51 p.m. I took the corridor near the Cosmic Whale Room, rather, near what remained of it. The Cosmic Whale Room was already filled with water. I wondered what the girl I had seen around here, what the girl I had seen around here was. Wondering what it was. Where had she gone? Who was the girl singing that lonely children's song? Was it a ghost or something else? Just as I was thinking that, suddenly I was hit with the bout of the dizzies. My vision contorted and I couldn't stand. I leaned against the wall and slowly crouched to the floor. I was unable to focus my mind. I felt cold. My joints were throbbing. Ugh, ow. My stomach felt like it was contracting in on itself. I couldn't stand it and I sprinted into the bathroom. I threw up everything in my stomach. It was a stew of half-digested chunks of tuna sandwich, and I looked at it indifferently and put my hand on my forehead. I wasn't feverish, but I felt terrible. I took the A elevator up to the second floor. I headed down towards the infirmary, intending to get some medicine. Along the way, I saw Takeshi, and he was leaning against the wall, muttering. He was probably just talking to himself, but I heard what he was saying. Damn, nothing's happening. That lying woman. We don't have time for this. Lying woman? He seemed to be in a bad mood. Hey, Takeshi? Oh, hey kid. What's up? How was the talk with Tsugumi and Sora? Oh, that. It was no good. Nothing there. Huh? What do you mean? Sugumi's got it all wrong. She doesn't know what she's talking about. So, the escape route? Nah, we're back to square one. Oh, I see. I'd held out hope as that he could pull us through. It was a bitter disappointment. Oh, that's right. I can't be standing around. I gotta run. I got things to do. Later. Looking stiff, Takeshi headed off. I was left alone. Sarah and Sora were in the infirmary. It seemed like the two of them were having a complicated discussion. So you can get through the Labelik Company database through this network, right? Yes, it is theoretically possible. But the database at headquarters has security that makes what we have here look simple in comparison. Not only is it hard to break into, it will hack back at you. Besides, there are no open communication channels with the outside. But it's not like the cable connecting us to the group is cut off, right? Correct. Sorry, it's hard to know who's talking with Sarah and Sora spelled pretty much the same. So even if we can't receive communications, we might be able to send them. There is that possibility. In that case... Huh? Hey kid, when did you get here? I've been here for a bit. Oh, really? I didn't even notice. Is something wrong? You don't look well. Yeah, that escape route that Tsugumi was talking about? So, it turned out to be wrong? Yes, it would appear so. I see. Please, do not let it dampen your spirits. You can't give up hope. Like I said this morning, Limit and I are doing all we can to get you out of here. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. So, what are you doing here, kid? Oh yeah, I came to get some medicine or some vitamin supplements. Huh? Are you feeling bad too? Huh? You too, Sarah? Everyone seems fairly fatigued. Don't overdo it. Nakyu was just here as well. I guess it's stress, or maybe lack of sleep. And all we've been eating is tuna sandwiches. And all of those things are bad for my skin. As she complained, Sarah took a jar filled with tablets from the medicine shelf. Here you go. I guess you took the same ones. I gulped down the tablets that Sarah gave me. Where did you go? To the changing room. Huh? Why? She going to change? Yeah, I don't know the details though. At that point, Tsugumi came into the room. Both Sarah and Sora's expressions tensed. You too, Tsugumi? Huh? It's weird, but everyone seems to be feeling ill today. So I thought that you might be feeling bad too. Not me. I came back to check things out. Speaking of weird, I think that guy's lost his mind. That guy? Do you mean Takeshi? Tsugumi nodded. He's been acting pretty strange. His eyes are all bloodshot and he went into one of the emergency corridors. He was breathing funny and acting strange too. Huh? He seemed in a bad mood, but was he that out of it? He was kind of like that from the start, but I think maybe he's lost it. Huh? What do you mean he was acting strange? I don't think this could be it, but... Let me see. Right now, Kuronari-san is, Now he's just in the corridor above the changing room. Hey, maybe we should go check it out? I think you're right. Sarah and I hurried out of the room. Oh, everyone, he is in the changing room. The two of us sprinted to the changing room. We arrived in front of it. There we heard Yu give an ear-splitting scream. Ah! No! What is this? I didn't believe it. It couldn't be. Damn that Takeshi. The door was shut. We thought it might be locked from the inside. I knew it wouldn't work, but I was going to try to kick open the door. But Sarah stopped me. Sarah went to work on the keypad next to the door. It seemed that she had a clue for emergencies like that. A code for emergencies like that, and the door opened up. I immediately burst into the room. Hey, Takeshi! Huh? Huh? Yu was alone in the room. She had already finished changing. What? What? Who do you think you are, bursting in here, idiot? The magazine you had thrown at me hit me with full force in the face. I felt a piercing pain in my nose. Knock you, you're alright? Huh? What are you talking about? I mean, Takeshi. Kurinari? What about him? Takeshi wasn't anywhere in the room. Come to mention it, there were no emergency exits in the room at all. There was no way for him to enter the room from an emergency corridor. What was that scream about a minute ago? What was that? I rubbed my nose as I said that. Oh, that. You took the collar of her jacket and showed it to us. Look at this. It's got a coffee stain on it. Do you believe that? There did seem to be a little black stain. That's all? You screamed because of that? Well, yeah. I mean, this is my favorite jacket. Don't just freak out like that, and if you're done changing, why'd you throw that at me? What are you talking about? You're the one who broke into a room where a girl might be changing. I looked at it again, at the magazine that you had thrown at me. On the cover of the magazine was a glossy picture of a screw and a screwdriver. It was a copy of Monthly Toolbox magazine. Ah, yes. Okay. What is something like this doing in a girl's changing room? Something red dripped on the floor. I had a nosebleed. Yuck! Why did you have to go and get a nosebleed? Leave it to somebody named Kid to get a nosebleed. Talk about ironic. It's because you threw this magazine at me. I plugged my nose with tissues and handed to me by Sarah as I fumbled for an explanation. Don't tell me you looked at that magazine and... Yuck, you're gross! No, that's not it. I guess we didn't have anything to worry about to start with. Oh well. With that, Sarah left the changing room. What, are you leaving? Yep, I've got things to do. Things? Lots. There are things that I have to take care of. I thought that I detected a gleam of determination in Sarah's eyes. So, I'll leave the rest to you. Sarah waved to me as she left, but an instant later she had poked her face back into the room. You too. Huh? Take your own sweet time. That time she didn't come back. Alright, 5:18 p.m. You and I sat on the bench in the changing room facing opposite directions. Finally, the two of us were alone. It was a situation I had been trying to avoid. I fidgeted as I thought of the touch of her lips the day before. I wondered why we had stayed there. It was because you didn't try to go anywhere. With what Sarah had said, I couldn't just say, see you, and leave. If I did that, she'd be able to tell that I was still hung up on the day before. I tried not to think about it, but the more I tried not to think about it, the more I did. The part of me that knew all of that pretended I was, okay, what is this sentence? The part of me, all of that pretended I was unaware of it, okay. That's a sentence that I'm not going to read because I can't understand the flow of it. Anyway, I tried to pretend not to think about it as I was pretending to think about it. Okay, I get it. This is too many panels of just me talking about how I don't want to think about the thing I'm thinking about. Okay. Then I realized it was all meaningless. Thank you. The more I thought about it, the more confused I got. I sat down next to you and stared at the ceiling. They're not saying shit. Just dot dot dots everywhere. Oh, that's right. This silence is bad. I better break it somehow. I thought I would try to say something and calm myself down. Those clothes really suit you. Huh? No, I mean, why did you change? Unfortunately, my mind was still in a state of confusion and wouldn't follow orders. I guess maybe you could call it an expression of my resolution. Huh? The reason that I changed. You asked me, right? Yeah. I decided to dump the Lemu uniform for the clothes that I normally wear. It's a way of saying goodbye to my lame self and hello to my normal me. I just want to get out of here and get back to my regular life. That's what I decided. So that's why. Yeah. Not saying anything again. At that rate, I figured the conversation was sure to fizzle out. I needed something to talk about. Now I have my choice of the third eye, Lemuria, or Yu's past. And I'm gonna pick the third eye. This seems to be my favorite topic to talk of with her. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to ask you about the third eye. The third eye? Yeah. And the third... Oh, and now we have like a little bit of a... Remember when this happened? And the third eye. That's right here. And then she kissed me. Suddenly, I remembered and vividly relived the feeling of our lips touching the night before. Silence. I was sorely regretting that I had brought up that topic. That reminds me. Yeah? I didn't really tell you about the meaning of the concept behind the third eye, did I? No. You'll always say I'll tell you next time. You're right. Well, this is a good chance for me to tell you the whole story. Really? Well, you can skip the boring stuff. You stood up and turned to face me. Ahem. It is time to start Professor Nakyu's seminar on the third eye. I clapped for her, half-heartedly. First, we'll start with something that's blatantly obvious. People have two eyes, right? One on the right, one on the left. You winked with one eye and then the other. And these two eyes, people are aware of the three-dimensional world around them. If you lost sight in one of your eyes, I won't say that it would be impossible, but it would be pretty difficult to get a sense of the world, its depth and its dimensions. Close one eye for a second. I closed my right eye as she said. When you look at the world that way, the information you get is only enough to basically form a flat image of the world. Of course, by focusing on different areas or moving our eyes, you can get a sense of the three-dimensional image of things, but it wouldn't give you anything close to the perspective of dimensional awareness that you would be using having both eyes. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Alright, I'll leave the unnecessary stuff. In other words, this is what I mean. If a person looks at the world from one eye, they only get enough information for a flat or a two-dimensional view. Essentially, it's like a picture. If you're looking at a photograph of scenery, you have the trees in the foreground, a lake in the middle, and a string of mountains in the background. Thus, you get a sense of distance in the picture. But the picture that is only two-dimensional, right? It was developed on a flat surface. So, a photograph is actually a three-dimensional image recreated two-dimensionally. Now that I think you understand that... Wait, you still don't get it? I don't get it, and my left eye is tired. Oh well. Okay, time for you to close your left eye. Hey, what are you gonna do? What are you going to see with both eyes closed? I held the eyelid of my left eye shut with my left hand as I opened my right eye. That's it. Now, how about we do a little experiment? Experiment? Nodding, you took a marker out of her pocket. She took the cap off and handed the marker to me. So, what do I do? Try putting the pen in the cap that I'm holding. We got a special illustration of this old trick. You turned the cap sideways and held it in front of me. So you want me to put the tip of this in that hole of yours? Oh my god! Why? I hate it. I hate it. This game is killing me. Okay. Yeah, hurry up. You want me to put it in? Yeah. Okay. I took the shiny black pen, lifted it towards the little cap that you held, trying to put it in. Huh. That's weird. I can't find the hole. The slightly slippery tip would slip into the hole. I tried to get it again, but it wouldn't go where you wanted it to go. Jesus Christ, kids, come on. It should be easier than this. Geez, you're really bad at this. Well, what do you expect me to do? It's my first time doing this. Oh, he poked it's a new special illustration where the kid has poked Yu's finger with the pen. Ow. Sorry. Where are you poking that thing? That's the wrong spot. It's a little closer to you. Here? No, further back. Yeah, right there. Stick it in, hurry! Click. I got it! Finally, it's in! Oh, good, you did it, and it's your first time! This is dumb. Boy. Alright, I'm glad that they had awkward silence afterwards. Oh, so that's how that works. I think you've seen how hard it is just to be aware of the different dimensions of things just from one perspective. So, to review, this is what I mean. The information that you get from one point is flat or two-dimensional information. To get enough information for a three-dimensional view, you have to have at least two perspectives. And that your right and left eyes, if you don't use two viewpoints, then you won't be able to register what's going on around you in 3 dimensions. Huh? Do you still not get it? I see what you're saying, but what does this have to do with the third eye? It doesn't have anything to do with it. I've already just explained about the whole thing. Huh? Alright, let me try something else. Let me ask you a question. What kind of information can you get from one perspective? You said two-dimensional information, right? And what kind of information can you get from 2 perspectives? I think you said 3-dimensional information. And from 3 perspectives, what kind of information could you get? 4-dimensional information, maybe? Huh. The 4th dimension? You slowly nodded, listening to me. So, the 4th dimension was... Wait, what was a dimension anyway? You took a notebook out of her locker and started illustrating her points with diagrams using a familiar pen. 0-dimensional, a world made of points. With 0 dimensions, there is no mass nor area. It is depicted using coordinates. And now we get like this special image of just like, I guess we're gonna explain how dimensions work as best as this game can do. Alright. Or we might call it nothingness, or even 0. 1-dimensional. This is an extension of a point. It is a straight line. In other words, a cross-section of a straight line is a point. This is depicted by one concept, length. 2-dimensional. This is an extension of the straight line as it is a flat world. In other words, a cross-section of a plane or a flat world is a straight line. This is depicted using 2 concepts, length and width. 3-dimensional. This is an extension of the flat world. It is a 3-dimensional world. In other words, a cross-section of a solid world is a plane or a flat surface. This is depicted using 3 concepts, length, width, and height. This isn't the most precise way of putting it, but you can think of 3 dimensions as an area in space composed of length, width, and height. By depicting length, width, and height at x, y, and z axis, one axis adds a vertical element to the other 2. And the 4th dimension adds a t-axis, or time. And these 3, and because 4 dimensions is no longer just space, is called space-time. One of the x, y, z, and t axes adds a vertical element crossing perpendicularly to the other 3. 4-dimensional. This is an extension of 3 dimensions, a world of space and time. In other words, a cross-section of space-time is 3-dimensional. 4 dimensions are depicted using 4 concepts, length, width, height, and time. So basically, you're able to gain the third eye, then you have enough information to experience the 4 dimensions. Yep, it's space plus time. Just like an image that, just like we can use our eyes to constantly have an image of space in the world before us. So with 3 perspectives, we can also be aware of the cross-cutting element of time. Yup, that's it! You put a cap on the pen. I feel like I kinda understand. What? My premonitions. I didn't travel through time. I know! You've gained a 3rd eye! That's why you know the future. Would you stop talking about these stupid theories of yours? You don't think so? Nope! I mean, there's no evidence. Why would your 3rd eye suddenly open? For what reason? By what method? I'll bet if I get my memory back, then I'll... That again? You always fall back on your amnesia. You were looking for the cause of your memory loss in the first place, right? So, what do amnesia and the 3rd eye have to do with each other? And what about that ghost girl you said that you saw? I mean, it's so naive, stupid, childish. Your mom believed it, right? We're not going there. I don't want to think about the past. I told you yesterday as well. But, do you like things the way that they are? You don't care if you never find out about your mom and dad for the rest of your life? Stop it! You had covered both her ears in denial. I wanted to know about my past, and I still hope to find it out. But I don't have my memory or any clue to go by, so... You have your memory, right? So that means that you have something that I don't have. You have a clue. And more than that, you were able to get information from Lemith. So, how come you still don't want to think about it? I thought you came to Lemu because you wanted to find out the truth. Why did you change your mind? Did something make you change? Why are you denying your past? Isn't that the same as denying yourself? With your own 2 eyes. Why don't you try to face the truth directly? You! I grabbed Yu's arms and pulled them away from her ears. Answer me, why? Why do you want to give up when you're almost there? Why throw everything away that you worked so hard for? I shouted at her, because I couldn't believe what she was doing. It was something that she would be so hard-pressed to find in her wildest dreams, and just as she was about to attain it, she suddenly changed her mind. I was nowhere near reaching my dream, but Yu was almost within her reach, so I felt terribly, terribly disappointed. I don't get it. What you've longed to know is right in front of you, and I was so jealous and I was so happy for you. Why? I got scared. Huh? I got scared of learning the truth. Think about it. Everything I've believed in for so long has turned out to be lies. It's all just fiction. Tell me, what's supposed to happen? Is it normal? I can't believe anymore. I can't believe anything. I didn't know that the truth was this painful. Yu put her hands to her chest. It hurts. My heart hurts. The closer I get to truth, the more my heart gets shredded to bits. And I can't take it anymore. I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know what's real. A sudden sound and shaking made us look up. The next instant, warning alarms started shrieking. All around me, the squeal of straining metal echoed from the structure, and the shaking continued on and off. What? No way! Could implosion already have started? It was 5:54 p.m. The estimated time of implosion was 4:30 a.m. on May 7th. But given the 12-hour margin of error, I thought it could well be the implosion. We burst out of the room. It's 5:46 p.m. The corridor was flooded, and the water level was rising. I was stunned by how high the water already was. In a little while, the alarm ceased. It looked like the flooding had stopped just in time. It looks like it's under control. Yeah. I wonder if everyone's alright. Yeah, let's go check. Sora, can you hear me? But there was no response. It's no good. I bet all the sensors are out of whack. We should go find Sora first. She's probably in the control room. Yeah. We put our argument aside for the moment and concentrated on handling the situation at hand. You and I headed down to the 3rd floor. We have to find a way out of here fast. You sprinted down the stairs. Even though we were in the middle of a crisis, I couldn't get my mind off what we were just talking about. The mystery surrounding Yu's parents, and my inexplicable premonitions. I just had a feeling that those two things were somehow connected to the third eye. Why? Why can't I shake this feeling? We reached the 3rd floor. Hey, Yu? What? What's wrong? I was just thinking. I was thinking about the thing about your parents and the stuff that's been happening to me might have something in common. I get the feeling that the third eye ties them together somehow. What are you talking about? Do you know what kind of situation we're in right now? This is whether we live or die. That's not important now. It is. But you said that your mom and the third eye... Don't you talk to me about my mom. That person is not my... You stopped mid-sentence. Suddenly, she lifted her head and started running. I hurriedly went after her. 5:53 p.m. Sora wasn't inside. I looked inside the life reading numbers. Not being human, Sora wouldn't register on the bioscan, so the number 5 matched the number of us that we knew would be stuck in Lemu. In other words, everyone was alive. You sat in the chair and typed on the keyboard, calling up the login page for the database. Incidentally, Sora had removed the login restriction that kept us from accessing it before. I figured it out. I know how to do it. What? How to get authorization clearance. So you figured out the password mystery? You shook her head. That's not what I mean. What then? The empty fall sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. That should be the password. But you couldn't get through with that before, right? You input the password. Access denied. Invalid name or password. See? No, that's not what I mean. It wasn't the password that was wrong. It was the name. You moved the cursor to the name column. It read Tanaka Yukie. That person isn't my real mother. So her name wasn't Tanaka Yukie. So she wasn't registered under that name at all. So if I can figure out what her real name is... Her name. Name. You never saw a driver's license or any document with your mom's name on it? Nope, not even once. I see. Until now, I never even dreamed that she would be lying about being my mother. I always thought that she was my mom, that she was Tanaka Yukie. That was what she said. Normally no one would ever think about their parents as lying about their name. That's true. It's no good. I've got no clue. You put her arms around her head and bowed it down. There are just so many possible patterns. But you could narrow it down a certain degree, right? Even if she were using a fake name, I'll bet it has something to do in common with a real one. Like, the initials are the same, or something. I don't think that's very likely. I mean, she was impersonating my mom. Tanaka Yukie, after all. It's not like she made up some fictional woman A. So I think it makes more sense to assume that their names don't have anything in common. If she was a complete stranger, there's no reason for her last name to even be Tanaka. Yeah, I guess you're right. Besides, even if the first character of her name was the same... Sorry, let me get a drink. She could be called Yui, Yuka, Yuki, Yoko, Yuna, Yuno, Yuma, Yumi, Yuri, Yue, Yukari, Yukiko, Yukina, Yukino. Oh my god. Yukimi, Yusaku, Ita. Okay, we get the idea. Yuho, Yuma, Yumika, Yumiko, Yumina, Yumeko, Yumemi, Yuyu, Yurina, Yuria, Yuriko. Oh god. And those are all just off the top of my head. The chances are slim. She could have even had a bizarre name like mine. A bizarre name. That reminds me, you still haven't told me your full name. I remember you saying it was really long. Oh, yeah, like, it goes on forever. So people always get it wrong. No kidding? Do you want me to tell you? Your full name. Yeah, of course I do. It's kind of embarrassing, so I don't usually tell people, but since it's you, I'll tell you. But you have to promise not to laugh, okay? Sure. Alright, here I go. My name is Tanaka. Okay, this is hard for me. Yubisei Akikana. Huh? It means gentle, beautiful, pure, autumn, fragrant green blossom. Tanaka Yubisei Akikana. Okay, well, maybe somebody can confirm if that's actually true. Yubisei Akikana. I think I said that right. So, what do you think? I know. It's such a long name that you don't know what to do with it. No, it's not exactly that. It's the Yubisei Akikana. Is that really it? Geez, really? You don't believe me? It's my name. It is. No, that's not what I mean. Anyway, come with me. You took my hand and led me out of the control room. We headed to the Lemurian ruins. Listen, I don't think this is the time for this. Be quiet! Even if you don't like it, it's still my name, so... It's the name that my mom gave me. So you have to believe me. You stood in front of the door at the edge of the room. This is the room for operators to run the theme park. This is the room used to adjust the lighting and the air conditioning, observation cameras, and other stuff. The door is usually set up so that the park visitors can't accidentally open it. Only registered staff can open it. You have to undergo fingerprint and voice check to open it. So, what? I'm a member of staff, so of course I'm registered here. And that means if I don't say my proper name, the door won't open. So if I just told you my name is, if the name I just told you is a lie, then the door won't open. Get it? Yeah, I got it. Seeing is believing, right? Let me show you. Ready? Watch closely. You put her hand to the panel next to the door. The panel had a lamp that was shining red. Tanaka Yubisei Akikana. Responding to her voice, the lamp turned green, and then the door opened. So? Believe me now? Yeah. Why do we have to prove that, I guess? With that, I thought I had to believe her. Okay. We turned back to the control room. We're gonna die. Like, there's an implosion happening on this place, and we're busy trying to figure out if this name is correct. Why? Why does this matter? Why does any of this matter? Alright. The whole time, Yu's name kept churning through my mind. Yubisei... Oh, God. Yubisei Akikana. Akikana. The truth was a lie. The lie was true. My mind was confused what might be true and what was false. But I thought that if a name had autumn or Aki in it, there might as well be one with spring or Haru in it. Gradually, I became convinced that it would be right. It could be right. I wonder if that's actually... Now that I think about it, this is a side, but like... Did we know somebody that had that in their name? I don't know. Anyway, when we got back to the control room, we decided to review escape routes. But at that point, we really didn't expect to find anything new. 6:24 p.m. Huh? What does that shout mean? Could it be that this... Could this be a message from the outside? What? Now we get a special illustration of you at the control console. Suddenly, the monitor displayed an image. It was a shaky video mixed with static. The screen finally settled down. Ooh, look, it's a person! It showed the face of a girl that I didn't recognize. Mother! Uh-oh. It's her mom! Dun dun dun. Was she Yu's mother? No. No, you're not, are you? You're not really my mother, are you? That's right. I'm not your mother. You are terrible. How could you lie to me all this time? I can't talk about that yet. Why not? And she's standing up and looking at the console very angrily. You've deceived me all along, and you want to hide the truth now? I never deceived you. You may not be able to call yourself... I may not be able to call myself your mother, but you really are my child. You were born of my body. Don't lie to me. I'm sorry, Yu. After you come up here, I will tell you. Here? Where is here? Where are you? I am on Incel No, the floating island. Huh? What are you talking about? What are you... The woman vanished from the screen. Then a man appeared. It's a man with very anime, no eye glasses. We are about to start operating the high-pressure air intake fan from the floating island. It will remove the water from the emergency stairs near the central area and the emergency corridor connected to them. The estimated time of completion is 9:30 p.m., 3 hours from now. When the water is cleared, we want you to climb the emergency stairs to the surface island. Please remain where you are until then. Who are you? I will explain everything once you are up here. It is not the kind of thing that we should talk about via a display. But you, there is one thing I want you to know. Your mother loves you more than anything. Please don't forget that. Eventually, the others straggled into the control room. Takeshi, Sarah, Tsugumi, and Sora. I told them about the message that we just had. The others couldn't hide their surprise. It was such a sudden, unexpected good news. Some of them even thought it might be a trap. Of course, that was what I thought at first, too. My skeptical mind wanted to ask, why now? We felt like the trick might still be played on us, but we had no other choice but to go along with it. There were only a few hours left until Leimu imploded. There were no other options left for us. 7:07 p.m. We moved to the conference room and waited for the time that the water would be cleared. The 6 of us hardly said anything. Everyone just stared off in space, waiting impatiently for time to pass. Yu slumped back in a chair and stared blankly at the ceiling. She looked like a puppet with its strings cut. The room was tense with anticipation. I couldn't handle it and decided to... Okay, so I think this is the last option for the game, which is very obvious. Of the options, it says talk to Takeshi, Yu, Tsugumi, Sora, Sarah. Who do you think we're going to talk to? We're on the Yu run. Gotta go with Yu. Hey, Yu? Hey, Yu! Huh? What? Did you just call me? Yeah. Would you mind leaving me alone right now? I don't really feel like talking about anything. I'm sorry, but there's something that I want to think through. I understand. I'm sorry to bug you. I figured that it might have been a real shock to her to find out that the lady had been pretending to be her mother. It looked like all of our guesses had been right on target. 9:30 p.m. Finally, the appointed time arrived. We climbed the second floor and stood at the emergency corridor, and we began walking to the central core. Finally, we reached a dead end. The watertight door shut because the area from onwards was filled with seawater. The door swung open. The water was gone. We continued heading towards the center through the dry corridor. Sarah, Takeshi, and Tsugumi walked ahead. Yu, Sora, and I walked a few dozen meters behind them. Hey, we're going ahead! It seemed like Takeshi had already reached the emergency stairs. Sarah, Takeshi, and Tsugumi disappeared up the stairs. But immediately after that... Oh no! This is bad! Water is flooding in! Sector 3, the partition on the emergency corridor is collapsing. Water is rushing in 51 meters ahead. The sound of rushing water could be heard in the distance. Ooh, video time. It is no good. We won't make it back. Go now! The door leading to the emergency stairs was swallowed by water. You, what are you doing? Run now! Okay. Now, hang on! I grabbed Yu's arm and doubled back. 9:49 p.m. We fled to the security office. Yu, Sora, and I were there. It looked like the flooding had subsided. According to Sora, there were only a few dry areas left in the complex. A message came from outside. The other 3 are fine. Are you alright? Yeah, I think so. That flooding was apparently a miscalculation on our part. I don't think we got the partition strength wrong. So, I don't know what caused it. Do you know... what do you want us to do now? For now, you wait there. We'll come up with something soon. Can't you use the high-pressure gas fan to get rid of the water again? Actually, no. The thing won't work, and we're not sure why. Huh? What? I'm having trouble hearing you. Static had broken up parts of the message, and I hadn't caught it. It looked like another crisis had struck. From the speaker on their side, we heard a lot of hurried noise and a rush of air. What is that? Is that real? Is that... Winkle here? And the communications were cut off. Winkle, eh? Interesting. Sora? With a solemn look, Sora shook her head. Damn it, we were almost there! Why this? Why did this have to happen to us? I punched the console. I don't get any of this. What is that? Winkle? Hey, Sora, what does that mean? Sora shook her head again. I sighed and sat down in a chair. Yu slumped in the chair next to me. I looked at the monitor. It displayed life readings for the complex. Life readings. 3. 3? Who's the third? Is it... I thought it was just Kid and... It should just be Kid and... you. Huh? 3? I wondered why. Only you, Sora, and I were left in Lemu. And Sora, the bioscan shouldn't pick her up. What is this? Is this broken? What does it mean, Sora? I don't know. I know that something is happening, but I haven't been informed what. I stood up from the chair. Just then my elbow bumped an empty can onto the table. The can fell to the floor and rolled to the wall. Is the floor... The floor is tilting. Hey Sora, can you display the map of Lemu? Something that has cross-sectional display of the structure. Certainly. The map of Lemu appeared on the monitor. It's like I thought. Lemu is slanting, but the tilt of the complex really didn't mean anything. Thankfully, it didn't look like it was affecting our chances of survival. Hey, Yu, what do you think we should do now? Yu? Yu was completely dazed. It didn't even look like my voice was reaching her brain. It seemed that the light of the world had been extinguished from her eyes. 1:39 a.m. Okay. Daybreak. The date had changed to Sunday, May 7th. Since that time, we hadn't slept at all. I was starting to feel bad again. It felt like a headache, dizziness, nausea, and chills were seeping out from deep in the core of my body. I suffered from a wave of dull pain and extreme fatigue. I was only half conscious. Exhaustion. I had reached my limit. But I tried to keep my energy from being sapped away. Surrounded by darkness and endless fear, we had fought our way so far, and there was no sign of things that were going to get better. Communication lines with the outside were still down, and we had to find a clue leading to a possible escape. You remained distant and spacey. Our optimistic leader that had helped us through the days of distress was nowhere to be seen. Someone had to save her. But who? Of course, it was up to me. At that point, I was the only person who could help her. Besides... You promise? Yeah, I promise. The memory of that pledge remains stark in my mind. Sora? Yes, what is it? I'm sorry to ask, but could you leave me alone with you for a second? Certainly. When we're done, I'll call you. Okay. I'm really sorry. Please, do not worry about it. Thanks. Sora vanished. All traces of her completely disappeared. Sora, who had no dimensional limits, had removed herself from our field of vision. Then, before continuing, I went to set the coffee machine to make fresh coffee. You're drinking coffee, right? Ignoring her lack of response, I set it to prepare 2 cups. Then I sat down beside her. About your mother. I mean, I don't know what to say, but don't you think it's important to talk these things over with her? There may have been some reason why she did what she did. Look, she did say that she'd explain everything once you're back on the floating island, so... How dare you say that, like you know how this feels. There's nothing left for me to say to her. Besides, it doesn't matter anymore. I don't care what happens. Look, we've still got to find a way to escape this place somehow. Why? Because I made you a promise. How are you going to keep it? Do you have some great plan to get us out of here? Well, that's what I want to figure out. Listen, we have to survive. Over these last 7 days, I've learned so much from you. In so many ways I can't even begin to count. But out of everything I've learned from you, the most important thing is how to live. You have to live life to the fullest. That's what you've taught me. So I want to put that lesson into practice. I want to live to the fullest, to the end. It was a heartfelt plea. Listen, kid. Yeah? What does it mean to be alive anyway? Well, living means to learn and to know, I think. A child is born in innocence, gain knowledge through the years, only to forget it all when it is old and then dies. Over the previous 7 days, my life had been filled with things that I had learned. From amnesia and emptiness, my life began. But looking back over the previous 7 days, there was one more thing. I also think that to live means to lose something. They said, nothing ventured, nothing gained, but to gain something, you had to lose something. Like me losing my past by losing my memory. Even though I had lost much, I had also gained. Living means to learn and to lose something? You're saying that we live only to get hurt? Maybe. I don't know. Well, if living means to be hurt, then I've had enough. I've had more than my share of hurt. And I've had enough life, so... Wait a second. What are you trying to say, you? You're not trying to say you want to die. You can't be serious. What the hell's with all that? I can't believe you're saying that. You're not like that at all. What happened to the you a little while ago who was ready to get out of here? What happened to that you? Come on, what gives? What? What came over you all of a sudden? Why do you think you were born anyway? Stop it! Would you stop it with that stupid 2-bit sermon? No, it's you who's talking stupid. All this selfish crap, as if your life belongs only to you. That's not what I was thinking! I don't think it's that, it's just... All this time, the mother I thought brought me into this world, she's gone. But the other lady said that she's your real mother. Well, she's obviously lying. How do you know? Because she's been lying to me from the start. Don't you think that's a little pointless right now? I mean, you do understand, don't you? That until you hear her side of the story, you can't go jumping to conclusions. I think you should live the best life you can for all the people around you and who care about you. For your mother, and for Sarah and Takeshi as well. And for me. For you? I said it before, but there's so much that I've learned from you. I'm so very grateful to you. Really. You're a friend, a guardian, a teacher, and I walked back to the coffee machine and poured 2 cups of coffee. You said earlier that you've already lived enough, right? But I don't think it's enough, because I think there's still stuff that you need to learn. You mean about my mother? That's one thing, yes. By the way, how much sugar do you take? Not listening, I added 2 spoonfuls. I was thinking, don't you think sugar and coffee reminds you of something? You know, something that life depends on. Huh? Do you have any idea? I guess not. That's the second thing you don't know about. Makes you want to know, doesn't it? A little, I guess. Well, if we get out of here, I'll tell you what that is. I added the milk and sugar and carried the 2 cups over. Here you go. Thanks. You took the cup and silently sipped from it. How does it taste? Were my feelings finally getting across to her? It's very sweet. She had a clear, gentle smile, like the sun shining just after a rain. Okay, 2:21 a.m. I think I'm gonna call this a night. We're so close to escaping! Ah, it's so exciting. It's so possible. It's within our reach. But yes, thank you for joining, and I'm hoping that I don't have another keyboard fiasco like I did last time. Okay, bye-bye!